Hey, what's up, Link Bodies listeners? It's Hunter again. And just want to thank you for your patience and waiting for this episode to come out. I appreciate that. And I have a little extra special announcement. We have launched over at Patreon. So if you want to go check us out, I'm going to put the link down below. We've added Discord tiers for special roles in our Discord. We've also added a new tier where you can vote in polls. So you can help determine what our upcoming episodes are going to be about. If that sounds interesting, go check us out. We really appreciate any donations and helping us keep this show running. Thanks very much for listening. And if not, just enjoy the show as always. Alrighty, have a great day. Hey, what's up? Oh, man. Hey, you're listening to Blank Bodies, a Vampire the Masquerade 5e tips and discussion podcast. I am Hunter.
I am Cindy.
And I'm John.
And as always, we are joined by
our resident lorebot, James.
who has his own mic finally.
Hey.
Look at that mic. It's a nice mic.
Look at that. The second-class citizens finally gave me rights.
You've had rights. We just didn't have a budget for a fucking fourth mic stand.
Yeah.
I've had the mic stand, and then we just didn't have the right cable.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We just were like, all right, we got the stand, we got the mic. Oh, fuck.
Each episode we've gained a part. We've unlocked a new part on our adventure, and we finally got the last bit.
I feel they did this on purpose.
No, it was just the big Goron sword quest.
Yeah. If we did it on purpose, we would have been like, no, you guys can't share a mic. That's too complicated.
Exactly.
What? Would you just have me shout from off the corner just like, hey, Sarah!
Pass-
You've done that so many times already.
Could you pass a 3.5 card to Sarah whenever you have something you want to say? She'll read it.
Help, I'm trapped in the corner.
But, yeah, more history shit.
Yeah, so this is part 2 of Vampire History. First episode was all old world lore. So tonight we're going to be bringing you the new world. So we kind of left off right as what ended the last system and started this new one.
The future is now, old man.
Yes, it is. We've also got Skipper here, who missed out on all the old history.
I'm waving, but
This is purely an audio
Yeah,
format.
I
I don't
know.
know why you thought.
I got excited.
One of these
Yeah.
days, I just want to hear him be like, I'm a human.
You're so pretty.
Totally
I am.
human.
I'm pretty.
Not blank body.
No.
No, we're not.
No, I'm
Like,
not a
what?
blank body. If we were actually blank bodies, would we make a podcast? Come on. That's like number 1 masquerade breach.
Much like Captain Camarilla.
Well, he had to do that because the prince was making him do it.
I'm still wondering why y'all are doing this.
I've always thought it would be fun to make a character who is just like the DJ in the Warriors, but for vampires, where it's just like kind of speaking in code to like all the vampires in the city. You ever play Jet Set Radio Future? The whole time there's
no.
the DJ who's just like, all right, cool cats, it looks like Rokaku's coming down tonight.
I do remember that.
I did bring up the fact that I'm literally making Jet Set Radio Revolution SETI character, right?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we need to work on that.
Oh, yeah.
I did play a V5 Tremere that was an occult podcaster.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Yeah, but they just like just took calls from people. They're like, I saw Mothman on the freeway, and she's like, neat.
Good job.
Just the Art Bell, but he's actually some sort of...
But like actually,
Cryptid.
yeah.
Hold on, Art Bell is a cryptid.
That's true.
Let's be real. Well, was?
It-
He's dead now.
he is. You could be dead and
Maybe.
still a cryptid.
Yeah, right. Well, okay. He's officially dead, but he's a cryptid.
Yeah.
Do we have to leave him beans as well?
Beans?
Yeah, you leave beans at the Mothman statue to appease them.
Why beans?
I don't fucking know. I just know you leave beans.
No,
and
I
it's
think it'd
become
be
such
like
a problem in the city that the mayor is now like causing a whole kerfuffle. Like, stop leaving beans. And it was-
Weird.
Jelly
yeah.
or baked?
Bitch, I don't know, just beans.
Probably not cooked. But I will say for Art Bell, I think it's actually more you have to bring like handheld tape cassette recorders. That's his tribute.
That would be good. Just magnet tape.
Cigarettes.
Yeah.
Cigarettes.
Almost every picture of him, he's got like a cigarette, but he's got that real husky, like old radio person where he's just the whole time he's just in the booth, just smoking,
Yeah.
talking
You
on the
think
phone
he
to
has
people.
a fog machine?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, this is how much he smokes.
Right.
He's going through 2 lighters a day. He's his own smoke machine.
2 lighters a day. All right. So anyway, we're getting into V5.
Yeah. So.
Actually, this, if I'm correct at where we are, guys.
Oh my God.
Right now we're talking about ShrekNet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, start picking up.
Yeah. We're
ShrekNet
cool.
got
Alright.
fucked.
Yeah, ShrekNet is where we're hitting.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know what ShrekNet was, in Old World, a ton of Nosferatu had gotten together, and they'd built a giant network of computers that was world-spanning, and it was just super, super hard to crack into servers that they put all the little secrets and knowledge they had about pretty much everyone in Vampire Society and other undead and regular people in just one big server. And you basically you could pay a Nosferatu or be one to get info off of it. But it was just a giant spider web of info. Yeah. Even like if you were a Nosferatu, parts of it were hard for you to get into because it was just a giant.
The Weaver and the Technocrats are very happy about that, just saying.
Yeah. So basically it's like, is it vampire internet, vampire deep web?
Vampire deep web,
So-
before the deep web.
I thought that it was just specifically anybody that was vampire. Is it specifically just Nosferatus?
No. They did not.
Okay.
Not canonically.
Really?
Yeah, there are huge chunks of Beckett's Jihad diary of him emailing other vampires being like, hey, we're supposed to meet up. What the fuck's going on? Da-da-da-da-da-da. So yeah, chunks of reading through Beckett's is just the transcriptions of the emails he's had with various characters.
Well, is that actually on ShrekNet?
Yeah.
Okay.
So ShrekNet was more like a...
It was like a private club, but generally run by the Nosferatu. I think the one thing... Again, I could be spitballing right out my backside here. I think the one people they never let on were Tremere. They had a big thing where they were like...
man.
Yeah, they were like, you guys are already pyramid scheming enough. We're not letting you in here. This sounds like a bad idea. I think. Again... This might be... Yeah, same.
Fuck the Tremere. If you're a Tremere player, I'm sorry. I know it might be your clan, but fuck the
You're
Tremere.
power gamers.
I like playing Tremere.
Fuck the Tremere.
Power
Fuck you,
gamers.
Sarah.
No, but like I don't like playing Tremere in the whole like I'm a house car in a Tremere.
Level 1 Old World, you could make a moon base as a Tremere.
I never did that. Oh, that was a good pop.
That's a good
That was a good pop. Anyway, so that's the base of ShrekNet. The issue with ShrekNet is that due to... Oh, sorry. So yes, the biggest issue with ShrekNet, due to either actual people on the internet hacking and finding out, or whether it was various elders selling out part of ShrekNet, that's left a little to ST interpretation. But basically, via the Protect America Act and Project Prism, the Second Inquisition found out about it.
Or again, you put information online in a stored area and the technocrats go, ooh, delicious.
Yeah. Either way, via these governmental programs, a coalition of Vatican Secret Service, CIA, and NSA launched a series of attacks in 2007 that resulted in at least 1,000 kindred being culled over the course of 3 months.
That's pretty intense. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a higher ratio than normal.
It's very spicy. Spicy times.
Actually, funny enough, I think doing the numbers, the old world also had more restrictions where you weren't supposed to have a certain number of vampires per human capita. That almost might be the whole population that would have been in America if you still use those rules, because there's a very obscure rule that's like, you can only have one vampire per 10,000 humans in an area. It's just, again, that's a rule that most people just go, that fucks with the flavor.
And that would explain why, like, you have to get permission to sire in a lot of cities and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I was going to say also, just like real life, God, imagine if that's what those government entities were really spending all that money on. I'd be okay with that.
What, finding out that there are vampires and then
Yeah.
culling thousands of them?
Yeah, if actually doing something.
Well,
Okay.
which one of the pedophilic elite are we okay with? The ones that are in reality or the vampires? Because you know what? I'd rather have the vampires be in charge of me than Jeff Bezos.
You sure?
Yes,
I think Jeff Bezos might be a vampire.
he's definitely a dragon.
He's at least a dragon.
Right.
If the memes are anything to go by.
He looks like a ghoul, but I know he can eat because I've seen that picture of him eating like the iguana.
Well, so can
He ate
ghouls.
iguana?
Yeah, I'll pull up a picture later.
God. What?
There's a picture of Jess.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
Live in one bite? Like a snake? He's a fucking
Or
lizard
was
person.
it like, on
He's
a
from the
stick?
Hollow Earth. Oh, shit.
I don't know.
No.
I
There's
see it
something in
your
the
eyes,
scenario.
Jeff.
Let me see.
Fuck.
So that's
Okay.
where that
No,
came from, because I've
no.
seen the picture of his face
No,
from
that doesn't confirm he eats. He has food near his mouth. He's not masticating.
And even if he chews on it, that doesn't mean he swallows.
True facts.
He could spit.
I just want to know that I meant to save that picture so that I could link it in the show notes or use it as a picture in the show episode when you go on Instagram. And bad news, I've saved that photo to my phone multiple times, and it asked me if I wanted to save it again.
You know what? You live your best life.
I am, obviously.
Yes. So, as a reaction to these attacks on the community, the Camarilla did what is referred to canonically in the book as the wipe.
Ew.
Yeah, I kind of hate that term. I feel like internet savvy Mimi lords would have come up with something better
Yeah.
than the wipe.
Like,
Yeah, because
again,
I mean,
you can't see my hand motion, but
Yeah,
listeners, you can probably figure it out.
Yeah.
Skipper is a special, special boy.
I'm beautiful.
Just remember that.
Yes. So what the wipe is, basically the Nosferatu were forced to dismantle and completely delete ShrekNet. Whether they actually did that or did not.
Yeah, could they have just moved it to like new servers?
Yeah.
I'm going to put money on moved it.
Put it on like physical hard drives and then
Yeah.
pulled those physical hard drives
There-
into
there
a
are
warehouse
some-
somewhere.
There are some fluff things about. Interesting fact is when these attacks were happening, a shocking lack of Nosferatu deaths happened. So some people were like, is this actually a leak from the clan to get rid of enemies and put themselves in a better political position?
So did they release like 1,000-ish names of people they just didn't want around anymore?
Well, it would have
Possibly?
been names, havens.
Info.
Lots of info. It could also be like, there's two ways to interpret that. One, they did it on purpose, or two, the Nosferatu data was guarded better because, it's their fucking servers.
That, or I think there's a bit of fluff somewhere I saw mentioned where they're like, oh shit, someone's getting into our data and immediately pulled all the Nosferatu data off first and then tried to get everything else.
I mean,
Yeah.
also, I'm just kind of thinking here, like, what if a lot of was this just specifically in Chicago, or was this
No,
worldwide?
this is
No,
international.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, never mind. I was gonna say maybe they just hid down into the labyrinth because Nosferatu are Heidi boys as it is.
Yeah. I just like to think the Nosferatu in the year of our Lord 2007 were just like, why don't you guys have VPNs? What the fuck?
They don't work
Yeah,
that
fair.
well.
Insert
just
where we would talk about our sponsorship from any VPN.
Oh God. I don't want to.
Not any VPN.
This, I will say a little pro tip for anyone listening. VPNs don't work that well.
No.
They ain't gonna hide anything illegal you're trying to do.
Oh, yeah, no, fuck no.
No, they help, which needs a Tor.
No, even that's
Not even that.
They can still figure out where you are.
Yeah.
There's tons of stories of people using Tor browsers at libraries, and then the CIA just sit in the library for a month and be like, all right, whenever we see a computer connected Tor at this library, we jump.
Yeah, that's
Yup.
fair. That is fair. I'm also not doing anything illegal as far as I'm aware, so.
I once
No,
watched
you're clear.
I once watched my friend live stream ordering ketamine off the dark web on Discord. It was
Is your friend Moon Knight?
Oh, I wish.
nah.
Is this the same friend that tried to boil ramen in a ceramic bowl on a burner on the oven?
No.
Different friend?
Way
Okay.
more talented than that guy.
Oh,
So you've got multiple window lickers.
yes. Anyways, so back to the lore. Cambria, after this, the wipe. I hate that term so goddamn much.
Can we just call it the W so it's slightly better?
The W.
W.
No, because
The erasening.
the erasening. The erasening is better.
I pulled that out of my ass in 10 seconds.
The coal?
The coal.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the coal would be the 1,000 vampires dying. Right?
I mean, actually, if you wanted to fuck up search engines for the event, you would have just named it The Purge.
That's funny.
And just been like, ha ha ha, try to search that on the web. You won't fucking get shit.
Yeah, but yes. So after that, the Cambria gave a decree that no kindred is allowed to interact with another kindred on the internet. If you are caught doing so, you'll be facing a blood hunt, which is basically you get put on a list, and they're just like, "Yeah, you guys can Diablo-rize this one. They fucked up."
Oh, shit.
No.
Fuck.
That's the reason why I have
Do you have to
changed.
have a special license for that?
Yes.
How do you do that?
What, to receive a blood hunt or to pursue?
To pursue a blood hunt.
Oh, no. If you are
If you're
under
on the
that.
list.
Yeah, if you're. No. If you are in domain of that city, anybody can do it. The
Well, no,
the
what
list
if-
is the.
What if I wanted to be the person to go and eat them?
No,
Do I have-
there's no list for that. There's
okay,
literally
cool.
a
All right.
oh
I just need to keep an eye
Jeff
on that.
fucked up.
I'ma
Jeff
eat him.
fucked. Yeah, exactly. It's
right.
literally murder on sight,
Cool.
unalive as long as the people can't see it. And if you want to eat their soul,
It's a one-person purge.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Where can you access that list?
I assume you'd have to go and talk to harpies.
Yeah, probably.
Alright, just curious.
Something like at court, depending on how extra they are.
Just an idea. Curious.
All right.
So anyway, blood hunts.
Yeah.
If we,
So,
I mean, okay, how strict is that rule? Like, if we have Facebooks and I hit you up and I'm like, hey, yo, you want to go watch the midnight premiere of whatever?
I would say it's gone so far that many Cambria cities are just have a verboten, like, no internet, no phone, no tech,
Gotcha.
nothing. There might be some Cambria domiciles that are like, well, hey, if you want to do Masquerade, you have to have some, like, you need a fucking phone or
Right.
an email to function, but don't be doing any vampire business.
Okay.
As far as I've read and seen in the material, it's kind of left up to campaign chronicle interpretation.
Campaign and, Prince discretion.
Yeah, because the prince could fucking hang you with this, and they like, well, we're not supposed to, but I've not really been enforcing it. But if you fuck up and you have to get your ass dragged in front of the court, they could be like, okay, you've done this deed, and then you endangered everybody by having a Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah.
You had a Twitter and you DM'd somebody else that was a vampire.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, so there's no vampire internet anymore, and the Cambria is part of their closing the portcullises is no internet. That's something I like plot wise for flavor and dealing with the different sects and societies, because anarchs are just fucking free balling on goddamn OnlyFans and shit.
Except for the La Sombra.
Well, that's true. They can't use tag.
Also, I think it's in the Chicago book. Maybe it is the player handbook, but they mentioned that a lot of Nosferatu, after Shrek Night got pulled down, a lot of them also just went into hiding. They're just like, oh, this fucking sucks. We're gone.
I'm out.
It's like, oh no.
Yeah, just go underground. It's a smart idea. Just be like, further into the necropolis time.
Just, going into the pipe like a little Mario. Boop, boop.
Or like a chud.
Yeah, we did just watch that. Anywho, so
Good.
Chud is good.
this, the W,
W.
the erasening, instigated, was one of the big pushes for instigating the Anarch revolts.
That's happening again.
Yeah, like full swing. So many of the Anarch leaders were arguing that the elders were using tech in the internet to fight each other, and that's the whole reason why this incident happened. And the elders were old men screaming at Cloud, being like, "Oh, you keep putting your boobs on the internet, and that's why people are noticing things. Fucking stop." Yeah, this is, turned into like a boomer millennial fight. And it culminated with the Archon of the Bruja, Theo Bell, blowing off the head of Hardstadt, who's the leader of the Ventru. Yeah.
So Hardstadt is dead now?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. There's some like...
Unless rumors of his demise were greatly over-exaggerated.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is always possible.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So that happened at the Convention of Prague. So yeah, Theo Bells is like, this is some bullshit. Took a shotgun, and he walked out, and just the whole clan went, "We're doing it, yeah!" And just left with him.
We're gonna go make our own system with blackjack and hookers.
So yeah, and because of that action, the Camarilla has cut off their organization. So if you are a caitiff, which is somebody who has no actual specific clan, you're not fucking in the club. Are you independent? You're not in the fucking club. Are you any kind of thin blood, which is basically 14th gen and lower? You're not in the fucking club.
You mentioned that in the show notes, the Autarchus.
Yeah, autarchus is the old-timey fancy term for independence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If you needed the actual term instead of just, I'm independent. I'm not an anarch. I'm not a Sabbat. I'm not a cam. I'm just
hanging out, man.
Yeah.
otherwise
What?
known as the Setis.
Do
the
people have
Giovannis.
problems with the Artakas? Because that's the clan, the
Because they're
faction
fence-sitting cowards.
or they're just like, man, I don't want any part of that. I'm just going to do my
Yeah.
own thing. I live forever. If I can just do my own thing, I'm just going to do my own thing.
Yeah, that's been fine for ages, but now because of the closing ranks of the Camarilla, basically, if you're not in the club, it is actually verboten. If you were in the Camarilla, for you to fucking talk to anybody who's not associated with the Camarilla,
Damn.
like, yeah,
This is getting kind of culty.
it's part of what's called like the second masquerade. So yeah, if you're in the Camarilla, unless you're talking to somebody else who's also in the club, no.
I do
Damn.
think it's kind of funny how they are hard switching from the old system where it was like, oh yes, the cam are the good guys that had good ideas, and they're like, what if we made the cam the new Sabbat because the Sabbat's just in the
Yeah.
corner.
We don't know what they're up to.
Yeah, we have no idea. I just hope they're doing a Scooby-Doo fucking thing in the corner, just running around chasing ghosts and shit.
There are some interesting notes I've read in between the lines on some of the Cult of Shalem and some of the stuff with the Ash Finders that I'm like, some shit's happening. It's interesting. But what officially? We'll know in August.
Yeah, which is probably about when this episode's going to come out. So,
Cool. We'll know soon, guys.
Yeah.
We're going to get the book. We'll read it. We'll hammer out a Sabbat episode.
Yeah, we might even try and skip that a line to keep it timely, but...
Yeah. We'll find
Yeah,
out.
no, that's fine.
But, so, yeah. Second, after they all got cut out of the Camarilla, literally the only rule that they all agreed on to after was, yeah, we'll keep up the masquerade. Everything else out the window. They're not working on anything else, but everyone still agrees, like, hey, yeah, don't let humans know.
Yeah. Second Inquisition.
That's
bad.
a fair rule for like every vampire, let's be real.
Yeah. So, yeah, fighting times. Woo! And then after that, fucking the Tremere got fucked.
Yeah.
Which everybody rejoiced.
Yay!
So, for those who aren't aware, the Tremere are the blood magic vampires that do a sorcery, and it's very hermetic magic a la...
Do you want to be a cult within a cult?
well, yeah, we'll get to that. But, yeah, so, blood sorcery, hermetic order kind of stuff. So if you're aware of, like, Aleister Crowley, OTO, that kind of shit. Their headquarters, because it's all a pyramid scheme and hierarchical, their main headquarters was in Vienna, Austria. Emphasis on the word was, because that got destroyed in 2008 by the Second Inquisition. What?
It's just funny.
Yeah, no, that happened. Everybody went, oh no.
Shucks.
Just a full-on
man.
Gene Wilder, Willy Wonka meme.
Yeah, let's be real. If you played Old World and you walked into any fucking Elysium, you weren't immediately like, oh no, the Venture is going to be here to fuck me, and just be like, shit, the Tremere's here and he's fucking about in the corner. God damn it, I'm gonna have to watch that one.
It makes me so upset because, like Aleister Crowley, the OTO, all that stuff, it's cool shit. I love occult shit, which means I should love the Tremere. But they're such fucking assholes.
Just like Aleister Crowley.
I mean, I guess that's true. Yeah, he was kind of an asshole.
Yeah, I mean, he was the ultimate power bottom.
Drove a man crazy with his blood.
Good sir, can I sell you on the Hakata?
Oh
No. Let me proceed. Let me
I love
proceed.
Cappadocians.
We'll get back to them.
This incident is part of the reason why, honestly, playing Tremere is like my favorite thing to do in V5.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
Not to jump ahead, but I will say V5 Tremere, less hate.
Super nice. So, basically a coalition of
The
hello?
hate is in the blood. It's in the blood.
Not wrong.
I can't help but hate them.
Remember we talked about not making sound bites that sounded bad?
I just hate them.
God damn it! Now I've got the fucking song from Hades stuck in my head.
Oh, the game?
Yeah.
Anywho, so back to me, push glasses up the bridge of my nose. So, a coalition of Vatican, Secret Services, and SOCOM, when their attack, they labeled it in the media as a counter-terrorist, or like it was a, let me start over. In the media, they labeled this event as a terrorist attack by Islamic jihadists.
A laser from space.
Well, they no. That was the Weekend of Nightmares.
Oh,
in
That was
Bangladesh.
All right,
Ravnos.
whoops.
Yeah.
If they did a laser for space on that one too, I'd be like, no, that was definitely the technocrats again.
No. So, because of this, there are some rumors that the Banu Hakim were involved in the event, but no hard details on that. It's not like the Banu Hakim have any reason to attack the Tremere or anything.
You know what? Good for her.
You know what? Good for her. For real. Also, I fucking love the Banu Hakim and everything they've changed with them. It's great.
Now I just want to know, did they have a plan to show up, or did the Second Inquisition just be like, we're gonna do this, and then randomly the vampire cavalry came in and be like, we're killing too?
Yeah. I don't know. If you as an ST want to run that event just for funsies, fucking go for it. It's going to be very entertaining. But yeah, so the attack killed what is known as the Council of Seven, which were like the head boys in
The head of the pyramid scheme.
Yup. And I do say boys for a fucking reason. And yes, also supposedly the progenitor of Clan Tremere. Tremere.
Really?
Supposedly he is dead.
So that would involve that Tremere won the war against Salat and the Tzimisce and took control of the... No. Fuck no. That
Well,
didn't
there
happen.
are rumors of the fact that Tremere might not be dead. And they might be some sort of weird worm monster somewhere in a basement in Vienna. We don't know. But supposedly they were either grievously injured or they're dead. The result of this attack fucked up the clan Tremere's blood. Across the board, all Tremere have a flaw where they cannot bloodbind people, which was their whole shtick for maintaining that
Damn.
MLM.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
literally what they did. They might as well have just walked up to somebody and been like, and you're already 1 point to blood bonded? How? And just kind of slipped it in there.
Yeah. So, but as far as it is written, this note is not common knowledge. So Tremere is keeping this very like hush hush. And I think that's really interesting because of that kind of shit and fuckery by NPCs like Karna. Tremere now has split into different houses, a la the turf book we're not going to talk about. But each of the houses has a different ideology on how occultism is handled, and it does a very good parallel between left-hand path, right-hand path, chaos magic.
Cool.
Oh, you mean the Strixhaven houses from Magic the Gathering?
I don't know what
Not
that is.
quite. No, that's more like Hogwarts. This is more like
Real life.
real life magic.
Yeah.
You couldn't see my air quotes there.
Yeah, because this is an audio medium. But yeah, so there's now House Tremere, which is Camarilla aligned. They're believing traditions and rebuilding the structure as it is. House Karna is technically Camarilla, but they're very anarch leaning, and they're just like, nah, fuck that shit. Like, their house founder even found a magic book that figured out how to break blood bonding before Tremere got nuked from orbit.
That's cool.
That's actually
Yeah, Book of the Grave War. It's
well, yeah, no, they also the Sabbat had the way to do that a long time ago.
Yeah. Then there's House Goretrix, which is mentioned, but there wasn't really that many members of House Goretrix as it was outside of Goretrix, who might actually just be Tremere. It's a whole thing, but they're technically still fucking around. And then there's House Epismus, which is the official Anarch Tremere guys, but they tend to follow the chaos magic, doing your own thing on your own terms. And there's not really a lot of info canonically about them, so you can kind of do whatever you want. If you want to jerk off onto a sigil and that be your thing, go for it.
Side note, didn't we all used to live at House Epismus?
I was thinking the same thing. Yes.
No, it was just Piss House.
Oh, yeah. House Venue, Magical, Covenant, same thing.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, we did have a bucket of blood that everybody also contributed blood to. And then a rat drowned in it, and I had to throw it in the woods.
No, that was Spunk Manor.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Shit, you're right.
Piss House is the one that we painted, like, freaky sigils and then pissed all over the sigils under the basement steps because our landlord was a slumlord and made us live in that sewage area.
Oh, yeah, because the sewage line kept backing up into the basement, and we were just like, hey, we would like to not play Oregon Trail in our own fucking house. Yeah. And he was just like, eh.
Right.
And you guys wonder why you got a New World Order agent assigned to you.
He wouldn't let us get out of our rent early, so someone had kicked a hole in the wall in the concert, and I hid an entire package of ham in the wall.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I did know about the secret ham.
Yeah,
I would like to say
Castlevania ham.
There be ham in these walls.
There's some ham in this house.
So. Quick
I just
story.
want a hobo to punch the wall and just be like, oh yay, full health.
Anyway.
First of all, I don't think that ham would give you full health at all at this point. But I would like to just follow up on Piss House with you guys. I don't know if you knew this. 3 years later, I was working at Journeys, and this lady came up, and I asked for her info because we were going to send her something. She gave me Piss House's address. And I was like, do you live in that yellow house on the corner? I'm not going to say streets here. But you live on the yellow house in the corner? She goes, yeah. I go, oh, I used to live in that house. Is it still owned by John? Not me. And she goes, no, I don't think so. I like to think that we made that basement so fucking terrifying that he walked in and said, you know what? I don't need this property anymore.
I did also hide a secret stash in there.
A stash of what?
Oh, just a false mustache in the wall.
Nice.
Oh, okay. I'm like, don't admit to crimes.
Anyway, but there's also some shit going on with the Thin Bloods.
Yeah.
Yep.
So who wants to explain what Thin Bloods are a little bit?
Essentially, they are vampires who are so far down the generation line that they aren't by most people even considered to be real vampires. They have a little bit of the power, but they don't get a clan. They don't get the same disciplines as everyone else.
Blood abominations.
Yeah, that actually, to be a Thin Blood in Old World lore, you actually had to take a flaw specifically. Being a Thin Blood could happen at any random generation, but generally it is guaranteed once you get past 13th gen.
I thought 13th gen almost was immediate Thin Blood in Old World lore.
Yeah, no, I thought it was 13 was Gucci, then after that it was 13 was the precipice of being a problem.
I should have looked it up, but I am almost. It is either 13th gen are Thin Bloods or it's 14th. I know 14th definitely.
Yeah, well,
but
they would definitely co-side with that because 13th and gen and down is verboten in the Camarilla now.
Also, they a lot of the religious vampires, superstitious vampires in Old World saw Thin Bloods happening as a sign that the world was coming to end or that Cain was going to wake back up.
There are too many kids on his lawn.
So far that hasn't happened, and it seems like things have gone past when that was prophesized, so maybe. But if you read between the lines, that's just happening right now. But
actually, if you read in the book, the thing that's ironic about that is they bring it up because, all the elders thought that, Thin Bloods were the sign of Cain coming, and if you killed them all, there wouldn't be a problem. Actually, it's stated in the Old World lore that the thing that woke up Cain faster was vampires dying, and Thin Bloods are considered vampires. So when the cam just started culling them in mass, it just turboed him to wake up sooner. They were just like, oh yeah, we got to prevent the apocalypse. You're speeding it up, you dumb fucks.
That's called irony, and I love it. It's very tasty.
Oh yeah, delicious.
But yeah, so over the past few decades, there's been a surge of vampires beyond the 13th gen to the point where they can't actually be kept track of anymore. They're just kind of around, and it's a problem for those who believe the old myths, and a lot of kindred, especially the more traditionalist guys that are like in the Camarilla and are falling back into religions now, are looking at this as a genuine problem that needs to be handled.
Some people also call thin bloods caitiffs.
No.
No.
Thin bloods are also referred to as duskborn.
Bingo.
Oh yeah, that's one I keep telling them in game not to use.
No, duskborn generally is the term they kind of prefer, because thin bloods is kind of like
The hard R.
not a hard R. It's kind of like the old timey like papaw way of referring, like like I'm saying the Mark Twainism instead of the hard R.
Yep. Yeah.
You're just like, this is uncomfy.
Yeah, but Duskborn sounds more like a real life slur. So
Gosh,
you put a Y in there, and that used to be a slur.
is it?
What?
Dusky used to be a slur for anyone who wasn't white.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, it was. Oh yeah, it was.
Well, I did not know that.
My parents were terrible growing up, but god damn it, I'll give them points forever for like being not racist. To the point that I, as a grown-ass adult, still don't know random things. Everyone's like, yeah, that's common knowledge. And I'm like, what the? At least in people role-playing, it seems that Thin Bloods themselves as a community prefer Duskborn over Thin Blood, but run that however you will. I think having an in-character discussion about terminology
It's very
would be interesting.
It's good for the day and time. It brings up poignant issues.
But yes, in 2009, the Inner Circle, which is like the head council for the Camarilla, gave an edict saying that all that are thin-blooded must be branded or tattooed with a mark of the crescent moon if they are allowed to, exist within the community, so they're being accounted for. Otherwise, they are deemed anarchs and must be handled thusly.
And if they have been branded, the anarchs don't trust them because they pretty much are like, oh, you're one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Your team drank the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, which is a character I'm playing in a stream game that hopefully will be coming out soonish. Because I think this problem's genuinely interesting, and not a lot of people are actually wanting to deal with the ramifications of something like this. So I was just like, can I be a branded thin blood for this game and just make everybody really uncomfortable and question what the fuck they're doing? And fucking Jay said yeah, so I'm like, cool.
Honestly, if I'm being real, much like we've talked about ghoul games, I think an all thin blood game could also be cool.
Oh, it'd be super fun because there's so much cool shit you can do with the thin blood.
You could do like a blade type guy. You could do. I like the idea of like the one girl in What We Do in the Shadows who gets turned and she's like in college and her roommate's just like, what's happening?
Yeah.
What's wrong with her? Why does she keep puking everywhere?
Yeah, as I say, for my character concept, I'm playing a forensics technician, so they do the chemical processing for crime scenes. So I'm just leaning really heavily into the thin blood alchemy and just being like, I got beakers and shit. Science.
Cool. Hell yeah.
I dig it.
I need to get myself a science jacket.
Also, though, the scariest part, if you want to push this that note even further, so that edict in the Camarilla also brought back an old court position, the Scourge. So they're similar to a sheriff, but their focus is only removing any vampires of 14th gen or higher. So they're literally thin blood hunter now.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucked.
Sundown police.
Basically, yeah. I mean, they're depending on how you run the game, a lot of Scourges also like patrol for anarchs and other people that might cause issues with masquerade breaching or investigate people that are like using phones they're not supposed to. But generally, yeah, the Scourge is supposed to be we found one of the undesirables.
We'll see what happens when the Sabbat book comes out, but I think they've done a really good job in this edition of pushing the idea that there is no such thing as a good guy. Like, pretty much everyone just kind of sucks in their own way.
Yeah.
Which is good because, as I said, in Old World lore, it was just like you could see who was what. And then, let's be real, anarchs are probably the best guys in Old World lore because it's like, they at least agree not to be shitheads. And Cam were supposed to be like Law and Order, but they had their problems with the the elders, and in the endgame lore, Sabbat were the ones that were actually right, but they definitely weren't the good guys. But you still had like two factions of good guys.
Yeah. So yeah, and this kind of brings the point, the themes and something like we've been dealing with culturally of independent free, like individualistic freedom versus security. Because the anarchs are more individualist, but they don't have the networks for community support. They don't have the power structures. They can get wiped off the map or picked off by Second Inquisition fairly easily. But then on the flip side, you're safer within the Camarilla in the Ivory Tower, but, you don't have as many freedoms. Also, Skipper, what the fuck are you doing?
I found a soldering iron, and I was trying to draw on my paper here.
You're gonna start a goddamn fire.
I'll turn it off.
Okay. Next thing in the timeline of V5, we got the Banu Hakim versus the Ministry. And
Hell yeah.
throwdown
I
cage.
love Ministry.
Yeah, so we should
Land of
probably
Rape and
explain.
Honey, it's a great album.
It's good. It's a good album. We should probably explain what these clans are real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Also, these two clans I never really thought would be the ones that would be fighting each other in Old World lore.
Right?
Like,
Which is why
it's so
like-
weird that it's like, yeah, we have the Asamites versus the Setis. What?
Yeah, I love that they've brought those two clans up to the forefront because they were kind of just like pushed to the side in Old World a lot.
Yeah, they were all of the Atarchus. They were independents they weren't specifically anarchs. They weren't specifically Cam. They were just people off doing their own things. It was just like, the murder assassins and the snake worshippers.
So with the beckoning, drawing all of the elders out east, Middle East area, as well as the Sabbat being like, Gehenna time is now. Gehenna time is now. The Middle East is fucked on top of the fucking that we of the West have provided to that area. So surprisingly, the former Assamites, Banu Hakim, who were, a lot of them are regent in that area, as well as the followers of Set, who are now rebranded as the Ministry, also in that area, and they're just like, shit's fucked. We would like to not die, all of us. That would suck. Let's not do that. So both clans reached out to the Camarilla to form an alliance. One meeting went well, one meeting did not go well at all. The Banu Hakim had a meeting in Odense, Denmark, which I've been to. Odense is very nice.
Yeah, I have too.
Yeah. Quite event. Everything worked out. The Banu Hakim now have an alliance with the Toreador officially, via the Vermilion Wedding with Tigurius and Victoria Ashwood. And there's a lore sheet where you can be somebody who's attended that event.
Ooh.
Yes.
Side note for my character, Ashwood, you say?
Yes.
I'll have to look into that.
Oh, not Ashwood. Victoria Ash. I had a whole... I misspoke, but I do love fucking Ashwood Abbey.
Yeah.
That shit slaps.
I just stole that from Chronicles and put it into my character, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah. No, I was just like, fucking... I'm excited for Hunter shit in V5. Oh, it's gonna be so good. Banu Hakim had a meeting. They formed their alliance. It went great. The Ministry tried to host their event in Paris, and according to the followers of Set, wanton to be lavish and elaborate and fancy. They did so. They hid the meeting behind. There was a NATO meeting at the same time at this posh hotel in Paris, and it got blown up. It just blown the fuck up.
Did it get blown up by the Asamites?
There's rumors that that's probably what happened. Nothing's been confirmed.
Banu Hakim.
The Banu Hakim, yes.
Yeah,
And I know you're old and you're used to using that slur of a name, but like we gotta be respectful. The event got blown the fuck up, and there were several high-ranking members of the Camarilla, including several Justicars, that died. So the Camarilla just stopped taking the Ministry's calls.
Hold on, they just started screening like this whole clan. They're like,
Yeah.
we're out to lunch. Sorry, but it's 7:00 p.m. It's a long lunch. Sorry, pal.
Just left them on red.
Yeah.
I mean, when your whole clan's shtick used to be worshiping a totally not Methuselah as a antediluvian and saying it was a god that would come back from the dead when Gehenna came around, and then they went, oh shit, it's just a body that's been dead for years. Is their whole religion and founding principles alive? We need to rebrand!
And they did.
and then it blows up when you try to rebrand. Yeah, no. They kind of were like, we already thought you were a joke, But now you're a joke with a terrible punchline.
Which is funny considering that the Camarilla is now actually open to and welcoming a lot of different, actually canonical, like kindred religious faiths. Because, Camarilla has been secular and money based for centuries. And now they're just like, everything's kind of going to shit and we've lost the elders. What do we do? And it's like, the answers are maybe in religion. But then they kicked out the actually religious clan in favor of the...
Well, it's like looking at Scientology. They're like, that's bullshit.
Yeah, I just find that a little funny. But yeah, so now the ministry are allied with the anarchs.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
And there's still some kind of headbutting, a little bit of bullshit, not as much. But
I wonder if either that was story-wise, they decided to get the Banu Hakim, I would say, again, Asamites, a generally what is considered aggressive clan, to replace the Bruja, because even in Old World, everybody looked at the Bruja and they went, why are you in the Cam? You guys might as well be anarchs. Maybe it was a balance thing that they did that with. But I would love to pick the brain of whoever picked up the story and went with this and go, why'd you go with the Banu Hakim over the ministry? Because it would be interesting,
I think it's just a good move in general. The Banu Hakim is a cool clan, and I think it kind of helps take some of bringing them into like the Camarilla, kind of helps the Camarilla not just be like, yep, we're all the Europeans and you're all the everyone else's.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I would love to know the motive because I think it'd be interesting. I mean, also to that wit, did the Anarchs really have a Toreador equivalent before that? Other than the Toreador Anti-Tribune, so that might have been why they...
Well, the Anarchs have always been kind of like a mishmush of...
Yeah, but there's several clans that have just kind of been like, we kind of like, always are over here. It's like Gangrel and Bruja, they're like... It's really weird when you guys are Cam.
Yeah.
Laughs in Gangrel over in the corner.
What does that sound like?
Just smash cut to every TikTok of a dog just being like,
Oh my! Again, not to date this video, but I did just fall into the hole of watching a guy feed his seagull to gain his trust, and I'm like, now I need to play a Gangrel whose Bondus familiar is a seagull, and just be like, by the way, attack seagulls, go!
I mean, I'm all for it. So the next step is the La Sombra. Normally, this clan is a Sabbat clan, known for doing spooky shadow bullshit and being Ventru, but better.
I mean, I would agree. I don't like the Venture too much. No offense to Ellis. I mean,
I also
no
play a
offense to
Ventru
Ellis.
in a stream game. So
But
Okay.
they're such pompous
Wait,
assholes.
Skipper, are you the only one who hasn't played a Ventru?
I don't want to play a Venture.
Holy shit, everybody! Let's be real. That's like a basic bitch starter clan. It's either did you want to play Ventru or Bruja starting? Like most people. Like I'm just saying, like normal, like old stuff.
Yeah.
Like people go for that. I'm like, that's very interesting that you've never done it. You just immediately were like, fuck money.
Yeah, fuck money.
I mean,
It's not real. I don't care.
I'm in Skipper's clan, but the main reason I even took up Ventru for a stream game was one, I'd promised everybody here that the next time I made a character was going to be a Ventru. Unfortunately, it ended up being the stream game. And then two, I liked the challenge of like, what if I made a Ventru that focused more on actually being a leader and actually doing community stuff and not just being like capitalism in a suit.
I went with Ventru for our current game, actually, but
Yeah.
just because all my other characters have either been Malkavians, Nosferatu, or the Samiti. So I was like,
Oh, you
I'm
mean
gonna play
good clans?
one of the normal clans.
Yeah, no, and I like your little Ventru guy.
Yeah,
He's
Ellis
actually
is
great.
fun.
Yeah, no, he's
He's a
fun. I mean, again, clearly I got this dude's pompous as hell the first time I played with him, and I'm like, he's at least enjoyable pompous as hell.
Yeah, he's enjoyable.
Just
But yeah,
like, he doesn't have a full stick up his anus.
long and short, the lore with the La Sombra is some of their clan have been fucking around in the Abyss, which is basically just the Shadow Realm, and they've seen some things, and some of them have seen some things out in the deserts while they're doing their Gehenna shit, and they just went, no! And they're trying to ally with the Camarilla. Whether this is a actual survival tactic thing, or if they're trying to take the Camarilla down from the inside.
Well, that also ties into one of the Malkavian story points that when a couple clans left the Camarilla, they started freaking out and be like, no, a house cannot stand with, without 9 pillars? Was it?
Seven.
Without
We
7
need 7.
pillars?
We got 5. There's only 7. Ah!
Yeah, so they were just babbling that for a while. So maybe when that started going bad, the List Armor was like, oh, we got to step in.
Yeah. The Emisi Nocti have, which is the Council of the Lasombre, where they actually talk family shit. They have various things. This is all shit from the Chicago by Night book, because that's where their clan popped up in. And yeah, so you can actually play out the chronicle of them getting their introductory steps into the Camarilla via Chicago.
Yeah, that's actually coming up in our game. We haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah, nah. I was just like, nah, I want you guys to fuck around and be established before I drop this fucker on you. So it's been fun.
Yeah, the Hakata.
The one you're excited about.
Oh, yeah, no. Anytime a game lets you freely play a Cappadocian, whenever find you an old world lore nerd, and just look at them and go, this game lets you play a Cappadocian and watch them freak the hell out. Because they were like the one clan from Vampire Dark Ages. They're like, yeah, by the way, you're not going to survive this game. If you want to play a Dark Ages game that transitions into a normal game, they're like, no, you get got, because Giovanni have a huge murder boner.
And vice versa.
Yep. No, actually, that's just a thing my character's doing.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a personal choice that I just thought was a funny motivation.
Well, that's because your character's just decidedly Italian.
Hey, after 500 years of running away, you're like, now it's 500 years of hunting you, right? Sounds fair.
Yeah. So the Hikata are known as the Clan of Death. So the big clans that did the fucking with zombies and ghosts, the Cappadocians, the Giovanni, got mushed together, as well as all the weird little bloodlines that do deathy stuff. So you got the Lamia, you got the Samdi, you got the Nagaraja, Harpers Skulls. You know, every spooky boy, they're just like, all right, you guys are going to be, we put you in a big get-along sweater. Yeah, so they decided to coalesce into being the Hakata as an entity around 2018, canonically. So this is like one of the most recent things that's happened lore-wise. They are currently the only truly independent clan out of everybody in the ranks. That's kind of vibing, doing their own thing. Their stuff is broken down in the Cult of the Blood Gods book, and there's a adventure, at least one major adventure of them in that book. I think it's set in... It's not Berlin. It's some Germanic country. I'm blanking on it right now. But there's that, and then there's still some supplement books from that Kickstarter that need to drop, and everything from it's been really cool.
Which the TLDR for their powers is zombies or ghosts.
Yeah. So it's like, you want to do business, you want to do death things, you want to get into some, the meme of insert Dom meme about family. If you want to do Fast and Furious.
Also for the old world lore guys, because you play a Hikata, if just giving another small aside that may be fun for those, yes, you can be considered different clans. And the only thing that really changes is they will switch out some of the disciplines. Yes, you can distinctly play a Giovanni. You can distinctly play a Samdi. There's a lot of them that you can play, and it just switches out the disciplines. So it's a nice way to do it. So they're not erasing. They also have lore sheets too. They're not erasing those clans. They just kind of like made it simplified, so we don't have 6 death disciplines. We just have 1.
Yeah, I think that's a cool little fix.
Just speaking to the olds.
Yeah. Yes. One of my favorites, and I know one of Skipper's favorites too, are the changes they made to the Salubri and the Zamitzi.
Yeah. They're back, baby.
Yeah.
I really like what they are doing with the Salubri. It's so cool. I was reading all about it last night.
Oh, the fact that there's more than 13 of them?
No, actually.
No, it's less.
Most people thought they were extinct.
Yeah.
At that point. Turns out they're not. But the rumor is that there's only 7 at any given time.
Oh, they've got less, baby.
It even says in the book, if your players play one, that if there's a Salubri in the area, you have a reason to be in that area. You're not just like, I'm fucking around. Like, you're probably there on Salubri business. You don't know what it is. Well, they're not telling you what it is, but there's a reason that you're doing or you're where you're at.
Because they've got some, the Salubri episode. That'll be a fun deep dive.
Yeah. As I say, sadly, Salubri is like my least favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it's because they're so wrapped up in the Golconda shit.
See, I kind of like that.
No, the Golconda shit's fine. It's just, in my experience of like the little bit of Dark Ages I've played, the few I've only known a handful of people that are like, I'll play Salubri, and it's always turned into that player thinks that because the Salubri's power is healing, that they can basically like cleric or paladin their way through a vampire game, and it's like that's literally not how this power works. Nor how this game works. Did you actually want to play a Vampire the Masquerade game? Like, I'm getting mixed signals, and then that oftentimes those players end up disappointed, or they end up leaving the game, or they're not comfy with what's going on, and I'm just like, oh no. So
See, I think they fixed a lot of that, though.
no, they have now, but in the past it was just like if somebody's like, I'm gonna play Salubri, I'm like, I am concerned that you're gonna get very disappointed within like 4 sessions of this game. I mean, I'm strapped in and I'll try to work this with you, friend, but oh my god.
I mean, if I were to tie them to a D&D class, I guess now they're more like monks than anything. They have like a life path. They're actually, most of them are philosophers or seekers of Golconda, which is basically vampire enlightenment. And some believe if you truly reach Golconda, your soul is returned to you and you become a human again. Or something bigger and better than vampires and humans combined.
Or you become a shark.
Yeah, you just turn into a shark.
Nope.
Wait, hold on, like shark eyes kind of shark.
Like a street shark.
Well,
Oh fuck yeah! With big buff arms, a hammerhead, smashing through walls, biting cops. I'm in.
So what I was trying to say with what I meant by shark is it's more of like a philosophical shark where you've hit such a level of like enlightenment or thought process. You basically kind of Dr. Manhattaned yourself, and you don't express joy or empathy or things. You're just kind of
Kind of like
very focused on things.
Which the funny thing is, they literally say in Gehenna book, they're like, anybody who was trying to do Golconda, unless it was a Salubri, you're fucked. Cain does not care. You are a product of Dieblery, no matter what.
kind of reminds me of D&D. Been reading a lot of like Spelljammer stuff lately, and they talk about it in Second Ed, I think, where basically beholders are so old and so more intelligent than other creatures that they all go crazy. They know too much and they just lose their fucking mind, and they are completely alien to every other intelligent race, basically.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Yeah, but
the fact that that was updated in that little V5 companion that is for free, I was like, oh, that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Which is good because they're like, we had thoughts when the first book printed, or first series of the books printed, that they were going to bring Salubri back, because in the Anarch book, there's art of a contemporary Salubri wearing a beanie, but there was no mention of it in the book. It was just the fucking art. That was it. And apparently that caused such a stir on the interwebs that in further publishings of the book, that art does not exist.
Really?
Yeah, that picture got removed. So I have a fun copy of the Anarch book now.
Yay!
Yay!
Oh, it was only in the Anarch.
It was only the Anarch book.
I was going to say also, because there's so few of them, and if they're somewhere, they're there for a reason, that almost anyone else in Vampire Society, if they know there's Salubri around, they're like, oh, that's a bad fucking sign.
Mm-hmm.
Which is what it used to be in the old world, too. They're just like, oh, no.
Also because they're...
Storms are coming.
Also because they're somewhat known as hunters of other kindred, especially ones with lower humanity. They're just like, oh, you're doing this wrong. Bye-bye.
Yeah, plus their bane is they're so tasty.
Yeah.
They're all spooky
tasty.
snacks.
I don't know their bane. What? They're just tastier? Like people want to eat them?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's their bane now. They're just they are the ultimate spooky snack.
Yeah, because they are anti-deeblerization. They're the tastiest deeblerization.
I can see that.
I'll say also, they have their founder was a man named Salat, but he got ate up by the head of Clan Tremere.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I got a little squidgy when Sarah said the words, yeah, I killed Tremere. Be like, they resolved that? Because he's supposed to be under, was it Chicago or New York?
New York.
Yeah, it was under New York. Both of them like mind battling it out to who had the body, all while Zamitsi's also antediluvian is just sitting there in the corner of their body going, I will win no matter what. Just stand up.
Yeah,
So their 3 souls were in a body fighting.
Well, no, that's the thing is because Tremere were made by fucking about with Zamizi blood and body parts, that inherently transfers the Zamizi curse, and Zamitzi got eaten by his his progeny, but he was able to. So it wouldn't be his soul. It would just be like his body DNA that would take over the body whenever it woke up, and it would turn into, again, one of the forebearers for the Book of Nod, the dragon coming up.
Well, so they might both be dead, but what I'm thinking is when Tremere got nuked, that people think Tremere's fucking around, but that might not be him in that body. That might be Salat, who is now taken over a corner of the Tremere and is slowly...
Yeah, because there's some verbiage that there's a distinct chance that Tremere is not actually dead, but some sort of weird, wormy Tremere-Salat hybrid.
Which 100% sounds like flesh crafting from Zamitzi to me.
Yeah, and then, like... So, yeah.
Because he's supposed to... everybody calls him the dragon because Zamitzis are called dragons. But if you look at the imagery of him coming out of the ground in New York in the Gehenna book, it's a John Carpenter's The Thing monster. It's not a dragon. It's just it's a Shuggoth. It's a fucking Shuggoth. Just
Skipper, people cannot see you enthusiastically
so
nodding there in the
excited
corner.
about it.
This is an audio medium.
I just want the Thing to explode out of New York sewers. Oh, that'd be cool.
Do I need to make your dreams come true? And next time we record, bring the Gehenna book so you can see that.
I want to see this picture.
We'll do a whole Gehenna episode.
Oh, yeah, we're going to do that.
We are having a slight... I had started to write on a Gehenna episode because we were doing this deep dive and we had turned up so much fucking research for the Week of Nightmares and Gehenna shit that I cut it out of this and started to write like, okay, we'll do the meta plot episodes and then we'll start doing deep dives and we should talk about Gehenna because that kind of ties into so many things for the meta plot for V5. And then right when we started doing that, the Sabbat book got announced and I was like, fuck, I gotta wait.
Yeah, table that for the Sabbat book.
The Sabbat book and the Second Inquisition book.
Yeah.
I will say potentially, and I will keep saying this to the heavens, my theory, because everybody's like, oh no, Gehenna didn't happen. I'm like, no, Gehenna happened. It's happening now.
It's happening right now.
That's the problem.
Mm-hmm. But to get back to our spicy boys, Zamitzi.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about Zamitzi a little bit?
Grab your hand.
Okay, so Zamitzi, primarily they are in the Sabbat right now, if I'm understanding. Those of them who are
showing your clan colors.
Do it now. But so the older ones are still very, what's mine is mine. I'm just gonna hang out in my spot and grab things when I can. They are still making childer, from what I'm gathering, and they are still treating their childer like, well, theirs, and that's causing a lot of divisions in the clan right now. So you have the little, baby Zamitzi who are like, "Fuck you, old man," and then the older Zamitzi who are like, "You're my son. You'll do what I say." And it's getting kind of spicy. So go ahead. Oh, I thought you were gonna say something, sir.
I will say one thing though, because I'm just like the old man in me is just like childer.
Was I saying childer?
You said childer again.
Yeah, you said You're like childer, and I was like,
Chitlins.
Old man screams at clouds over here, just like childer.
I've actually never had chitlins.
They're not good.
I haven't either.
Okay, don't bother.
Unless you get it, unless you can
it.
get it actually from a southern black grandma. Don't eat them.
Even so, don't. They're gross. I had when I was in cosmetology school, I had a lady whose southern black grandma made them chitlins, and for some reason she brought it to school for her lunch, and I was like,
"Oh,
"What's
you got
that?"
reheated? No, fuck that.
It was bad. It was real bad, and
No.
I'm not.
It's much like haggis. You don't reheat that shit.
Okay,
No,
so
you
should
can
I start
reheat
over
haggis.
because of the childer
Yeah.
thing?
No. We're gonna keep
It's
writing.
okay. It's okay.
Okay.
It's fine.
But I was going to say, but because of that, a lot of the younger Zamitzi have said, fuck it. We're not going to be a part of the Sabbat anymore. So a lot of them are now showing up in Anarch territory and aligning with them.
Well, they always were able to be anarchs. The difference is, I think, because of the destabilization of the clans, makes it more acceptable because, the tent poles of the Sabbat, the La Sombra, and the Zamitzi. And I know there was a third one, but I've been blanking on it the whole time. I've been trying to reboot my processor, and I cannot remember the third one. But it's probably because of how destabilized all the organizations are that it's more acceptable that, fleshy McPutty society movie over here wants to align with you.
Well, also, they specifically say it's in the book. It's because just a lot of the younger people who are being turned now are specifically just like, no, you can't own me. That's just not a thing you can do.
Yeah.
that fucking sucks, and they just leave.
Yeah, because we, us millennials, have the idea of like, no, I'm my own person. Goddamn, fuck you. And then the boomers are like, no, but I ordered sweetened iced tea, and it's like, I did sweeten it. There's sugar in there. What the fuck are you talking about?
But there
but I
is
saw
not
it
a
on-
hummingbird amount.
Next time you make sweet
I ordered
tea,
this latte with no foam, and I'm like, you do understand that this latte is heated with like a steam wand, and there's air in it, and there's literally nothing I can do. The drink will go tepid before I get all the fucking foam out. What are you complaining about, Bill? Sorry, I had to get
All
that
right.
out. All right, we're good. Back to Zmitzi. Hey,
yeah,
buddy.
sweet tea.
Zmitzi.
Where were we?
Some of the younger ones.
So a lot of the like you said, Hunter, a lot of the younger Zamitzi are running off, hanging out with anarchs. But honestly, as a clan, as kind of a whole, they're not too into politics or sects or anything like that. I feel like from what I've read and what I'm understanding, they use it more for like, all right, I'll align with this sect because they can get me what I need right now. They can get me what I want right now because even the young Zamitzi are still little grabby bastards. Like, they want their things and they want to own them. So if they have to align with the cam for a little while, then they'll do so that they can get whatever it is they want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they also, much like the Sombre, used to have problems maintaining the Masquerade just because of existence. And they changed their clan bane from Old World to New World because, again, they always had, like, they were possessive in the Old World, and they were like, that's why they called them dragons. But that wasn't their clan bane in the old day. The old days, it was, they had a thing where they had to change, like, all the fucking time. Like, they would, like, play with their flesh and, like, freak out and, like, just change their look on the fly a la Nightbreed. And that used to be what their problem was. I like the new one. I really do, because it means it's playable, because you don't have to immediately be like, I'm going to break the Masquerade. Why? I needed to make flesh dreads today.
Just, I'm in the
Yeah.
middle of a 7-Eleven, and I'm having a little bit of a moment, and I have decided that this fucking brow ridge isn't cutting it anymore.
Needs to be sharper and bony.
Yeah. So now it's just like, you just fucking take shit, because it's yours. Mm-hmm. Whatever the moment is, you're just walking out, you could be in the 7-Eleven and just be like, I need all these Kit Kats, and just pick up the box and fuck off with it.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing that I always like to run with Zamitzi is I almost always ran them as non-binary or trans. I'm like, no, this would make the most sense just to be the guys that are like, I can change my gender on the fly. I can be whatever I want.
Oh, it
I can be a
specifically
goddamn
says that.
butterfly.
It specifically says that in the book, that they see gender as just like a trivial thing, that they're just like, I don't, why would I care?
That's specifically why my the one NPC that I ran had a male and a female name, where it was just like, no, they just fucking change on the fly, where they're just like, I'm a dude, I'm a girl, I'm a non-existent, I don't care, just call me either Vasha or Vako, don't care, one of those, just whatever it looks like or whatever I tell you.
Yeah, you ever wake up and just feel like 3 raccoons in a trench coat?
Yup.
Because I've had those days.
But yeah,
But yeah, we are now currently caught up to canon.
yes.
Hey, there are, but yeah, that's where we are with the meta plot. I'm really pleased with where a lot of this is going. I'm glad that tech is being acknowledged, surveillance state stuff's being acknowledged, dealing with just roving refugees and different societal because I'm just like. Things in big world can be done in small world and talked about in little stories, and this is great. I'm very excited.
Yeah, because I love Old World, and I think at the time, a lot of it was a lot more topical and interesting, but like, some of those books are like 30 years old now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting
Wait.
close to there.
Oh no,
Like,
30 officially.
Yes.
Because this will have happened in the deep past because of how editing and time works. But yeah, the other day they dropped the V30 symbol on the Instagram. Like, yeah, it's 30-year anniversary for Vampire, and I was just like,
Wow.
I'm about as old as this game is. Holy shit.
Yep.
About?
Yeah.
In the approximate area of about.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a little older. I'm a little younger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were saying younger. I was like, oh no.
No, I said about.
Oh.
About, as in the
I lie
general
about my
area.
age, but I lie and say I'm way older than I am because fucking people give me compliments about my skin. It's great. They're like, wow, you look really good for 40. I was like,
I just honestly think it's
You're right.
I just really think it's funny they implanted memories that are as old as Mega Man in me.
Yeah, but yeah, because of that, like a lot of those old books, now going back and looking at them, there's some stuff that hasn't aged super well.
No.
Oh,
It
again,
was bad at the time.
again, Asamite Ravnos. Moving on.
No, there's stuff that
There's
is
worse.
Yeah, there's stuff that's bad.
Again, Samdi.
There's stuff that's so bad I can't name the name of books on this show.
But
But
again, we call them don'ts.
Yeah.
yeah, and we'll do
an
maybe
episode about
someday we'll do a
don'ts.
whole episode about don'ts.
We
Don'ts.
are never going to be saying the name.
So yeah, no, the whole problem with Saulot's incarnation is that his whole shtick is, I am a learned white man from the West that is going to travel to the East for enlightenment and to teach the natives. And then he returns with a fucking third eye. And seriously, just what in the fucking macaroni Marco Polo bullshit fucking white savior complex? Like, no, this is very awful. It's very uncomfortable, and I don't fucking like it.
It's one of the reasons why when he started talking about Salubri, I was like, no, those files have been erased, because most games just go, no, let's just not talk about them, other than that's who Tremere ate. That's about what most of the old world guys would be like, no, we're just going to say it's an antediluvian. We're not going to address what it did because it went to don't land and did some dumb things that most people think is reprehensible. So we not talk about this.
Yeah, and if I were to make a character who was or running a game and brought them in, I would definitely probably make most of my Salubri from India. And that way you can kind of keep those cultural ties and it's not like a white man savior complex situation. And there's no real kind of version of that culture in World of Darkness right now otherwise. So if you kind of just fully give that over to kind of like that culture, then you can have that flavor of vampire in the game and it doesn't feel weird anymore. Yeah. And now that there's 7 of them, you could say, fuck it. After they went crazy, they all ran and hid to India, and the 7 that are left are from there. Even if you don't want to fuck with old world lore and keep...
Yeah.
Well, again, as we keep alluding to, or at least I keep alluding to, they might not be putting anything from that culture because of how they beefed it on the don't.
Yeah. And I like that a lot of stuff in V5 is set up to be more open to interpretation in a lot of things. And more like, we want more people involved in doing all sorts of just different stuff and concepts, and you shouldn't be limited by your cultural background or your gender expression or religion.
Yeah, I love how they acknowledge the fact that the Samdi started laughing when the Cappadocians and the Giovanni were like, we created the death magic, and the Samdi were like, sure you did.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, that's good to acknowledge. Just be like, nah, maybe the white guy's not the end all and the be all of this power. Maybe other races did some stuff.
Yeah, but other than those like kind of important cleanups, there's really not much that's changed from Old World. There have been like new steps happening in the timeline, but they haven't really just wholesale thrown anything out. It's all just been continuing or updates of story and lore from before. So, I mean, I've seen a lot of people online complain that they don't like the new system, but it's like, it's not new. And if you really like those old stories, you could use these rules and just roll it back to like 1996. And
Which is literally what I would do. Like, I've looked at this and I've been like, oh, I don't have to ban Tremeres at my table anymore. Because, no, when I ran Old World, I was like, there will be no Tremeres in this game. Why? You're just going to try to break this game with magic bullshit.
And I've never ran Vampire before, specifically because, like, the balance and the info spray was so bad that it was intimidated by running it. That's why I've only run, like, Hunter the Vigil. And we talked about doing Old World games before, and it always just, like, turned into a... And it never got off the ground. And I think even if you want to use these rules and just stick with the old lore and play back there, that's fine. But I think this works a lot better. I think it even works better than like the V20 update, personally.
Yeah, I was gonna say
way more balanced.
I have some buddies from my stream games that on their own time have been running a V5 game, but it's set in the 80s. And they invited me to come along, and I was like, can I play a Banu Hakim, like, private detective? Because they have a lot of blood sorcery that's good for doing investigative things. And they're like, yeah, we're just going to reflavor the Bane to be what the old Bane was. And I'm like, fuck, I'm down. That's red as fuck.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you can play a Banu Hakim, and you don't have to be Muslim. You can if you want. Go for it if you're interested, but you don't have to. And you can be, from North Africa and be a Ventrue.
Oh god,
Yeah.
yeah, the whitewashing they did on most of those, because the Embraced show, I'm pretty sure they had an Asamite that popped up, and they were turbo white,
Well,
just like because I've watched that whole series, and I think they had really low effects because most of the Nosferatu they were bald and they had pointy ears. That's all they had.
no, the Nosferatu
No,
did
I
look
mean-
like a classical, like...
No, I mean in the show. Like if you
Yeah.
we watched
We've
it.
watched it.
The main guy's got a pretty... He looks like the old, like...
He looks
movie.
like Nosferatu.
Yeah.
Count or
He's
walk.
like the only one they bothered to do effects on. Everyone else is just like...
Yeah, but they
I'm
also
hot.
have like the because there's an episode where a baby gets kidnapped and the gangrel have to like find him, and the Nosferatu are there, and then like the Nosferatu woman like takes blood and she's like, a blessing upon this child, and it's just a woman who's bald with pointy ears, and I'm like, come on guys, Nosferatu look weird.
We'll do a whole
Yeah, we'll-
episode or a couple episodes down the road on that. But that's our guide to the new and old lore. So
Yeah.
hopefully that
Bad
helps you out.
blood.
If you guys liked anything we talked about, you were interested, want to hear more, let us know. Because we can go in deep dives on almost all of this. Actually, just all of this.
Literally every bullet point of the script could just be its own fucking deep dive
Oh,
episode.
do you have any idea how much I want to talk about the nuking that happened to Ravnos?
Oh,
You're gonna get your servers hot again.
Yeah, I'll shut off here in a second.
I would
probably.
love to do a whole episode just about ShrekNet.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Um,
And I was trying to do some research on Zamitzi, and I found so many like hour and a half long YouTube videos of just like, and then this guy did this, and then he sired this guy.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that guy did this, and it did so much. Holy damn!
You got so excited you bumped the mic.
I know. I don't get excited. Well,
Oh
I get
yeah, no,
excited a lot.
the old elders from Old World. Oh, they had some fucking weird. Like actually the guy that supposedly ate the Zamitzi Primogen. The Primogen actually morphed himself to look like the guy that claimed that he ate him. And he was like, "Yes, I ate myself, guys."
Yep.
Yeah,
And then
I'm like,
he just
oh.
got stuck like that for like hundreds of years,
Yep.
and he just went crazy because he's like, somebody's gonna fucking find out I'm not this guy.
Exactly, and it's so great because it's just like
funny
it's like
shit.
the Loki betrayal. Just fucking betrayed. That's what happens when you can morph your flesh at will.
But yeah, before we go a little too long, I think we should wrap it there. But
Yes.
as always, I want to thank Paralyze for our theme music and some of the interstitials we've been using.
Hell yeah.
Fucking love
Hell yeah.
their music.
So good.
Yeah.
Bandcamp down below. Give them a listen or a buy. Let's see, we've got a really cool little Discord community popping up.
yeah.
So there's people talking about maybe trying to get some games running in there. We're gonna homebrew some stuff in there that we write for the podcast and that kind of stuff. But hopefully we'd like to get a couple more people in there and really get some cool games going.
Yeah, and if you enjoy this, don't forget to like, comment, share, all that fun stuff. Ratings really help engagement. It increases the community, and it's very useful. Please, I need this to live.
Yeah. We also have an Instagram and Twitter. I'm still learning the Twitter. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.